What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today on a Monday work day. So definitely a couple things to go over today. I hope everyone's doing well. Put this chat up real quick. How's everyone doing today? Everyone good? So a few things to go over. Say hi to everybody in the chat. What's going on, MJ? Ryan Roman, what's going on, man? Fisty LaRue, what's going on, dude? Dez, what's going on, man? Allison. Frankie, what's up? Says Quez, make sure you got extra money. Yeah, we're gonna go over that. What's going on, Antonio? Giordano. Bill. We got Aiden. What's going on, Aiden? Deep Space, what's going on, man? Joey's gonna lose his shit. Why? Why am I gonna lose my shit? What happened? Did something happen? Or no? Or are people just saying that? So yeah, I know everyone's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Appreciate Shrek. Thank you so much, man. Go on, Cody. Gregory, what's up, man? Yeah, so so the Eagles, so it looks like Quez Watkins got signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers on a 1-year deal. I don't know what the money is. I don't think that's been released yet, the money, I guess. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's a 1-year deal and he stays in Pennsylvania, so that's it. There was rumors last week that Quez was, there was rumors that the Eagles were open to Quez returning, and I'm glad that, I totally forgot about this too. I totally forgot about Quez Watkins. And it looks like Quez Watkins will be signed with the Steelers for a year. Unfortunately, guys, just an underutilized. I think part of him was just not being the best receiver he could have been. Unfortunately, I think he had a lot of ceiling, and unfortunately, he just, between injuries and speed is just not enough, and we need more than that. We need a lot more than that. So I'm glad he's not signed with the Eagles. I'm glad I didn't bring him back. I don't think it's already been kind of already set and set right now that the Eagles aren't bringing back players, that they're just going to hang on to. I think that's just been a problem the Eagles have had over the years, where they're emotionally too attached to certain guys they don't want to get rid of, or, Nick Sirianni has been the big defender of Quez Watkins, for as long as we know. I was really excited for Quez, last year going to the season, when he said, when we signed Olamide Zaccheaus, I remember Quez went on Twitter and was like, I'm going to make you fans eat y'all words, or whatever he said on Twitter. And then, just got hurt, never got an opportunity, had a few snaps here and there, middle of the season. Just underperformed for us, unfortunately. Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday? Birthday? We got a birthday? Let me know whose birthday it is. Dez? Who's Dez? Dez? Birthday? Happy birthday? Happy birthday, bro. If it's your birthday. Yeah, so look, I'm glad they're just moving on from Quez in general. I think obviously that's what we kind of expected. Turned 40, holy shit, dude, awesome, man. I hope you enjoy your day today. I hope you enjoy your day, bro. Ryan Roma says Justin Simmons soon. So yeah, the Eagles apparently, okay. It seems they're going pretty aggressive on this safety market right now. Julian Blackmon's not signed yet. Left the Bills without a deal. And he visited the 49ers a day or two ago, and we've heard nothing of that from Julian Blackmon yet. Now new rumors came upon. Micah Hyde is a target. for the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, Micah Hyde is the oldest safety as of right now. I think he's like 33 years old. So not saying that's who I want. I'm just saying that's what they're interested in, and that's it. I'm still on the Justin Simmons train like crazy right now. So now there is I know it was more they release. I know the Bills released Micah Hyde just for cap reasons, and there is a chance he could go back to Buffalo at this point. But I wouldn't I wouldn't say the Eagles are gonna grab him, but there's a big chance that he could become a Philadelphia Eagle. So we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll just give it some time. But it looks like they're going hard for a veteran safety. Now, all the meetings are going on in Florida right now. All the meetings, the coaches' meetings and stuff. So it looks like the hip tackles are going to be. It's a new rule that's coming now, which really sucks. It's good for us and bad for us because teams are going to get screwed over this. Unfortunately, the hip tackle is going to be included in the season next year. That you can't, it's not legal anymore. So good for us because we have Saquon Barkley. Maybe that's why Howie signed Saquon Barkley, since you got this great offensive line. You get Saquon to the second level, and I guess the Eagles could benefit off this new rule. I guess entirely. I guess they can. We'll see though. Chris says, I had big hopes for Quez 2 years ago, and he disappointed me. He didn't take the bulls by the horn, as they say. That's true. Also, I think Justin just got the money he wants. He just chosen ATP. I'm sick of waiting for this Simmons news. Oh, trust me. This can go on for a while. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen this week, but it could go on for a little bit. Let's go on D Spaces. Joey, if we got Micah Hyde and Justin Simmons, no. I mean, you're getting one more safety. That's it. You already signed. You need one more body at this point. I mean, you got, Sidney Brown's coming back from injuries because he plays both safety and nickel. Corner especially, but you're kind of waiting right now because you already have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson long-term, Reed Blankenship's on the roster, so you're only getting one safety. The Eagles are just going hard for one player, and it's going to be Justin Simmons. It's going to be the guy from the Colts we just talked about, and we got Micah Hyde on the list now, so. It's only going to be a one signing, and I think that's it. Really, it's just the safety signing, and it's going to be the Hassan Reddick stuff, that I'm really tired of talking about, and I wish this would just happen already because I'm just tired of talking about it, whether he's here or not here. At this point, I don't even care. Just do something because it's just getting to that point now. Toby said Justin Simmons probably won't come until they make a decision on Reddick. No, I think it's just timing. I think it's just Justin Simmons, his timing when he wants to. He might wait till after the draft. He might. It has nothing to do with Hassan Reddick. It's two separate issues. Hyde turns 34 in December. Yeah, he's getting up there in age. Are you using that bottle as a spittoon? Pretty much, yes. I mean, yes, I kind of have to. So, Chris Simmons is still their priority. He has to come down on the money he wants. It's simple. Yeah, I mean, we've gotten no rumors on what he wants. We've got no rumors on really anything regarding what the whole situation is with Justin. Really, any situation, what's going on that's left. The stuff with Reddick, we don't even know what the situation is. We know what the main situation is with Reddick, but we don't know like the figures, what's the number, why is Howie not pulling the trigger yet? Is it draft compensation? If it is a trade, really nothing you know, nothing crazy. JC says, I will turn my attention to Julian Blackmon, tired of waiting. We'll see how it goes. Patience is key. Joe says, how do you feel about the kid from Iowa? God damn it. Fell for it. I've seen that one before, but I was not paying attention, though. R-Star, what is a hip tackle? Hip tackle, I can't even like describe it. It's like when you tackle somebody with both hands. If you tackle with somebody like at a turning rate where you stretch your body out to go tackle somebody by the waist, you turn them, you hit them to the ground. It's so stupid. I know what a hip tackle is. It's just hard to explain because it's so stupid the way like it's being banned, and I feel like this is going to screw over so many teams next year. It's hard to explain because it's like the most basic thing that happens almost a lot of the times in games, and there's going to be penalties because of it now. I don't know what they're trying to do. I understand, like you sign a big contract, and you know what? You put that helmet on, and you know you're signing your life away to an NFL team for a few years, and like whatever happens is what happens. You get hurt. Like I know, I get it. The whole helmet thing, I get it. Like the concussions, head trauma, I get it. Like that, I can understand to a certain point. But when it comes to like just basic tackles, it's just. Now it's already enough. You can't put your weight on a quarterback. You know, you can't tackle a quarterback, below his knees. I get it, but it's just, as a defensive player, you can't think before you tackle somebody. It's called physics. Like you tackle someone in a specific way, whether they're running in a certain way, like you tackle them how you're going to tackle them because that's just how the play is going to go. You can't control how you tackle them. They can't control, you know what I mean? Like an offensive player isn't going to care how you're going to tackle. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's really stupid. And I don't know. It's going to change. It's not going to work out. Teams are going to get screwed. I'm telling you right now, you have a playoff game or a Super Bowl, and that game is ruined because of a hip tackle penalty. It's just ruining the league at this point. What's going on, Jim? Chris says, I'll take Blackmon if Simmons doesn't come down the price. No, I would take Julian Blackmon. Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, coming off a big injury. So apparently the rumors for Julian Blackmon is that he wants a multi-year deal. I don't know how you're getting a multi-year deal off a big injury last year. So, most likely he'll get a one-year deal somewhere. I don't know. He didn't get it from the Bills. And he visited the 49ers, and I don't know. He's doing the old school. I'm going to visit some teams and see where we're at. So let's see. Yes, I mean some of these hip tackles have caused injuries. It's like when you grab somebody by the waist and you just like drag them down to the ground. I mean, that's pretty much what a hip tackle is. I mean, I can't even really explain it. You can't tell a defensive player don't hip tackle. Like the way you tackle somebody is how you tackle somebody, and it's just ridiculous. Devon says, have you seen Micah Corey, Western Kentucky wide receiver? Dudes doesn't go down hard of tackle. I have not. I haven't went too far into the receivers. Really, the basic guys in the first couple rounds. Sean says, why even play defense anymore? I know, dude. I know. It's getting pretty bad. This is imagine Saquon behind Jalen on tush push. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, at least they didn't ban that. Honestly, I wouldn't have really cared too much if they I really wouldn't have even cared if they banned the the tush push this year. I really wouldn't have cared about it because I think Kellen Moore might not even be interested in doing the tush push this year. But I think if there's one thing, as much as I don't want Sirianni involved, if there's one thing that the Eagles are going to do this year that Nick's going to have, a strong hand in, is telling Kellen Moore that, the tush push has got to stay involved because the Eagles are the most successful team at doing it. So Bill says, I'm starting to think O-line first round. I mean, look, if they did that, I would have no issue. Look, if they draft offensive line the first round, I have no problem with it. I would be so open to that, and I wouldn't even care because I feel like, as of right now, guys, there's a lot of teams that don't take care of their trenches, and the Eagles take a lot of value in that. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think they'll continue it. I don't see why not. I think they'll continue it. I don't see why they wouldn't. Aiden says, Joey, who do you want? I really want Simmons. No, Justin Simmons is the guy I want. I think because he fits the scheme 100%. I mean, why not get a guy that already knows the scheme, that plays successful under Vic Fangio, playing at an all-pro level right now in Justin Simmons. So I'm all on it. Salty Vader says, this league and rule is soft as hell. Keep this shit up, and the NFL will be a league of flag football. Look at the Pro Bowl. As a kid, I used to look forward to it. Now, I never watched the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is the most dumbest thing between these two teams. I mean, the Pro Bowl used to be NFC, AFC, boom, and it was one of the most hard-nosed football games you'd watch at the end of the year. And no players were worried about injury. There was none of that. Now it's like all these competitions, and I think it's a fucking carnival. It's a carnival pony show for NFL players. And it's just like, it's TMZ entertainment on those days. It's just, I never watch it. I'll see clips of it, obviously, after it's done or while it's going on Twitter, but I never sit there and say, hey guys, you guys want to watch the Pro Bowl? No. I never do that. Bill says there's so much money involved in players, they don't want damaged players. I get it, dude. There's a Joey, that's why I love the Eagles and hate the NFL. All BS rules fly, Eagles fly. Yeah. Agreed, dude. Agree. Let's see here. Joseph, but that's literally yeah. Well, it's a basic. It's really like a basic tackle. Like it's just to a point now. You can't control if it's a hip tackle or not. Like physics is physics. Like the way an offensive player. I mean, if you roll up to an offensive player, how you tackle them is you can't check how you're tackling them. Like it's uncontrollable. It's an uncontrollable thing. So, Flag football coming soon. Dagon says Dagon says Dagon Barkley says, so the new way to tackle will just dive at his legs, take him down, or grab him and lift him up and hold him like a girlfriend. I guess that's how they want it. Brian said, if you look at the actual play and the injuries it causes, it will make sense. No, I get it makes sense, but it's uncontrollable. It's uncontrollable. You can't control how you're tackling. I'm not going to tackle him because it's going to be a hip tackle. I'm not going to try to tackle him that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's impossible. Like, I'm not going to go and tackle him that way because I know it's going to be a hip tackle. So I'm going to let him run another 20 yards. You know what? Let me just let him score the touchdown. Screw it, because I don't want to get a penalty for my team. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. Google hip tackle image. There's videos. Look at videos of. Just look at a hip tackle. Just look at videos. Go on Twitter. Just type in hip tackle, and they'll show a bunch of clips. And it's the most it's just the most basic tackle. It's just a basic tackle. To me, when I look at it, I'm not trying to be like, I don't look at it like that. Signal Birds, what's going on, man? Center Jackson Powers, pick at 22, then we'll trade 50 and 53 to Arizona for 35 to get Edgar and Cooper. That'd be great. I mean, look, if they decide to go Bowers, and yeah, Bowers is going to be the best offensive lineman in this draft. A center has played most of his snaps at center. He has played a little bit of guard, but is the most fluid, probably the best lineman that is on the board right now. So I wonder where they have him, if he is available. Maybe not early. We'll see. You know, the Eagles will have the pick of the litter because if Bowers goes early, couple receivers, Marvin Harrison, Neighbors, both of those receivers, and 4 quarterbacks, I'd probably have to say. Because now it says, Mez said, do you see on Twitter that Slay said about the hip toss rule that there's going to be a lot of missed tackles? Yeah, I already answered him on Twitter, by the way. I already retweeted at that when I saw that. I was like, nah, don't do that. You guys did enough of that last year. I retweeted at him. I said, you guys did enough of that last year. Nah, don't be afraid to tackle this year. Not this year. You already had a freebie last year with that. The last, for all season, but the last 7 games are the most horrific. Philip Bush, I would want to draft a starter at 22, not someone who will sit for a year. No, of course, no. We need a guy that starts day one, no doubt. Avon says, how would football look at if you followed the MLB and not have the salary cap? Well, it would, yeah. I mean, players, then you could do whatever you want. I mean, it would be a mess. There would be no restrictions. It just, that's what makes it fun. It makes it fun that is restrictions. If there's no restrictions, then it doesn't make it more fun. It makes GMs have to be more strategic every year. You know what I mean? Real Johnson, we don't have our projected line anymore. I'm scared to see how it looks next season, but we got a better running back, so maybe it balances out. I'm not worried about it as much as people are. Like Kelsey leaving, it is what it is, but I have full faith in Juergens at center. I think he's going to play really well. Really, it's the right tackle, the right guard spot, between if it's Matt Hennessy and Tyler Steen, to be in competition for that right guard spot. So we'll see what happens. We'll give it some time. 1 month away, dude. From the draft, we're 1 month away. Robert says, what up, Joe? Who Quez signed with? I'm like, Quez signed with the Steelers, 1-year deal. Williams, I'm so tired of this team trying to get more players that's over 30. We need young guys. Dude, we got so many young players. We got so many young players. There's, at the end of the day, like, if they, they might not draft a safety early in the draft. Reed Blankenship's young. Chauncey's young. So I don't get what the whole thing about over 30. I don't get that. You can't have a whole entire roster isn't going to be under 27 years old. It's impossible. So I think people need to chill on that. Like, you got to bring in some vets that know the system, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you have to have a mixture. Like, you have to. You can't just have all young guys. Like, you need guys that are experienced. Like, you need guys with playoff experience. You need guys that are all pros. You need guys at older age that play at a higher level at some point. So we'll see. Brian, if you played football and no fundamentals, then you would know hip tackles isn't proper technique or form anyway. Yeah, but even if it's not a proper form to tackle somebody, it's just uncontrollable. Like, you can't control whether it's going to be a hip tackle or not. So I'm saying, like, when you tackle somebody, that person that you're tackling, whether it's a running back, whether it's a receiver, whether whoever it is, a tight end, these tackles just happen because of physics and how it's the way, it's gravity. Like, it's motion of someone tackling, it's somebody's body moving in a certain direction. It's something that you just can't control. So it's just really stupid. It's just really dumb. So if Cooper DeJean is there at 22, that should be an easy decision. If they want more of a hybrid guy like Cooper DeJean, I wouldn't be against it. If they draft a corner in the first round, I'd love it. The problem I have right now is, would they still draft Cooper DeJean? Because hey, like, he could start anywhere in the secondary, really. But with Bradbury still here, and they haven't even tried to move him yet, it's really hard for me to believe that they'll draft a corner in the first round, because they haven't really moved anybody in that secondary. Well, at least that corner spot. So that's the only thing I'm worried about going forward. What's going on? Nina says, "Hey Joey, bye Quez. Good riddance." It's not good enough. Yeah, so the only Pro Bowl I remember was feeling for when they both scored in the 50s. That's nuts. 63 says, "I really appreciate the Pro Bowl. Give me one time to see Jalen smile before the offseason." Yeah, it was cool seeing him just have fun, you know? It was cool seeing him just have fun. Why is Slay talking? Can't even tackle without the band. I know. I know. Like he's got, see, that's why, like, social media, dude, like his podcast, like, I have this personal thing towards Slay. Like, as a person, like, I have no issue with him, but as a player, and I can't stand him as a player. I can't stand his attitude towards, like, the media or towards the fans when it comes to the season. You know, outside of that, he's fine, but I'm kind of like done with him at this point. Alexander said, "I can't imagine how soft Slay will tackle next season." The armbar tackle is a hip drop tackle because the Dallas player dropped his hips on all his weight. What are you talking about? You're talking about the when Dallas got her, he got his forearm broken. A lot of leg injuries coming soon. They're leaving defenders no choice. If it happens, it happens. I mean, it is what it is. If games are lost because of this penalty, because of the hip tackle rule, it's gonna suck, dude. It's not gonna be good. Chris Gomez, two-hand touch football incoming. I think I'll say it would be Kirk Cousins. Tiger says, Kirk Cousins did that? Who's the one that came up with the hip tackle rule? Who's the one that even put it forward? Kyle said, Barkley about to go ham with no hip tackle. Well, I'm saying, like, a lot of people online now are like, "Oh, Howie Roseman signed Saquon Barkley," which that's going to be big for us. So, you know, Barkley's hard to take down in some points. So, it could be good. It's going to be good for us in some cases, but it's going to be bad for every team as well. So, Bill says, "I'm an old school and was taught the correct way to tackle. Unfortunately, today they really don't teach correct techniques, I guess." Like, for instance, Joey really want to tell us if Talisa, the guy will be an all-pro. I've never even heard of that guy. I have never heard of that guy, unless you're trolling. They also said MLB, you have to be on the same team for 6 years unless you're in the Rule 5 draft or traded. Alice says, "We're trying to win a Super Bowl now, not in 4 years when these guys develop." Demetrius says, "The real deal, we can afford a player at his age who is still top safety at this point of his career." Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's a really good move. I think we've done enough moves. I think they're ready for the draft. If they just sign a safety, I think we're ready for the draft. I think we're fine. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, even if they don't sign a safety, I still think we'd be fine, to be honest with you. But to get another guy, you know, two ball hawks, and trust me, you know, Justin Simmons, his tackling is really great, and when it comes to him getting the football in his hands, he could, you know, he likes taking his chances. So, and Anthony says, "You need some vets in the room." No, you definitely do. When you have too many young guys and you have too many unexperienced guys, you know, it really shows throughout the year. It really does. You know, we have no leaders on this defense. They need as many leaders. Devin White's going to be a big leader for this team. Chauncey's going to be a huge leader for this team. Justin Simmons, huge leader for this. There's a lot of voices. There's going to be a lot of voices in this back end of this room. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Jay Rizzle 51 says, "Yeah, Dean hears the talk. He's got something to prove. Hopefully he is healthy." Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, availability is the number one thing. I can't give my assumption on what I think Dean is going to do because he hasn't done much. I mean, there's not. I can't say much about him because he hasn't done much of anything. So, Jerome says, I believe Howie picking Nick over Hassan. Pick Nick over Hassan because Reddick doesn't like Nick. We see it on the sideline. He feels disrespect as a great player and how he did to him on TV. Get back on the field. Remember, no, that's stupid. That's a coach yells at a player, so that means the player doesn't want to come back. That they don't get along. Come on, that's stupid. We've seen Nick yell at Jalen Hurts before. We've seen it before. Like that's really stupid. That's really dumb. This was just a really bad time. He was yelling at coaches. He was, Sirianni was off his rocker. No Dom in the building. Apparently the rumors that Dom kept Nick in check and kept, his emotions under control, I guess, during these games. But I wouldn't say anything like that. I mean, that's kind of going kind of crazy. Demetrius the real deal. Pay us on and get Micah Hyde. Sean says, can't time a perfect form tackle. You barely see that way at any level. No, you can't time it. You can't control it. It's just gonna happen. Like, you're just gonna let go of a guy and say, oh, I'm doing a hip tackle. I gotta let go of him. Let him get let him run for that touchdown. Let him, you know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do? The hip tackle is official. The rule is passed. It's done. It is officially through for next season. This season coming up. What do you think about Brock Bowers available? Look, if they wanted him and they feel like, dude, he's going to be a monster, and they'd rather keep Juergens at right guard, and they want to go that direction, I have no issue with it. If they draft Bowers, I'll be really happy. Like I'll be happy because, guys, like, for a team that had to invest this much in offensive line, it's huge for this team. And this is big for Saquon Barkley too. Like, it makes everybody better. Not just, it makes your quarterback better because of the protection. It's going to make your running backs better. It's going to make getting one guy, getting an offensive lineman in the first round is going to make your wide receivers better. It's going to help everything in motion from one position to the next. And that's always a great thing about it. D says Joey Cooper DeJean reminds me of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He can play everywhere in his. Oh no, I agree. He's smooth, man. I mean, he's I love it because guys on Twitter, like all these news reporters, are like, I want to hear like what's the main weakness of Cooper DeJean. Like, I don't want to hear the stupid crap that everybody's been saying because he's white. Because you normally, you normally see white cornerbacks. It's the truth. Like, so I actually tweeted, I was like, well, he's white, as a joke, but that's what everybody said. Nobody wants to draft him because he's a white dude. So I think it's funny. I think it's funny. Best thing about Slay is his wife. TX Eagle says Quez will ball out in Pittsburgh. We didn't use him properly. Yeah, I mean, we could probably say that, but if Devontae Smith has flourished, even underutilized, and A.J. Brown has flourished, underutilized, but Quez has been hurt too. Like, Quez has been injured as well. He was injured this past year, missed a lot of time. He got hurt, I think, twice this year, actually, or once, and he missed the offseason program. The guy can't stay healthy, period. That's a whole nother thing with him. Can't stay healthy. Rome says we're like the 6th, 7th youngest roster in the NFL after Cox retiring. Yeah. Back in 17 in the Super Bowl, we were the second oldest team in the league. Second oldest team in the league. That's how crazy it was. Shelly says, bye-bye, Quez. Was he even here? Yeah, I mean, we were so pissed off about other things. We didn't even think about Quez Watkins last year. It's just the truth, man. Aiden Monaghan says, breaking NFL announced we have to give offensive players a pillow so they don't fall too hard, perhaps. Did he say that? That's funny, though. HVS says, greetings from Chocolate Town. What's going on, HVS JR? Travis says, Quez should get a fair shake in Pittsburgh. Good luck, Quez. No hard feelings. No, I mean, I have nothing against him. You know, players just don't, gotta move on from players. Bill says, we need leaders because last year no one stepped up when stuff went bad. And that's the biggest thing. Nobody stepped up when things went bad last year. Nobody did. Just imagine, like, if that in the 49ers game, like, through pregame warmups and like they were, went through our pregame warmups and fucked with Bradbury. And like, imagine if Chauncey was on this roster during that time. Oh, he would have been disqualified. I mean, he would have been kicked out of the game, probably. You know what I mean? Like, at least I know with Chauncey's in the back end of this defense, I know that there's going to be some accountability, and you're gonna get yelled at when you screw up, and if it happens multiple weeks, I think guys are definitely going to step up. All right, Mike says, how can Simmons look at this team and tell his agent to haggle best deal Howie will give them? I mean, give it, like I said, I think just give it time. Like, it could be a lot of things. It could be on Justin Simmons' side of things. Maybe he's not ready to sign with a team yet. He could just be doing his own thing right now and just saying, hey, we'll wait off, a little while, We'll see what happens. I mean, sorry, but when I don't hear any news about Justin Simmons, like nothing, like for days, absolutely nothing, it's giving me the thoughts that the longer that happens, he will be a Philadelphia Eagle. I just feel like the more time that passes by that way, that's where we're going. Philly said, if you have to think about how to tackle someone, they probably just ran by. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no thinking. You put your hands on somebody and boom. Like, however you tackle them is how you tackle them. However you bring them down, you could be 5'10" and the guy's like 6'3", and you just, you're going to tackle them how you're going to tackle them. You don't care how. You could jump up on their back and put them in a chokehold till they go down, until their face turns blue. Like, there's no control in that situation. You have no control. James says, what up, Joey? Is Micah Hyde legit, or is he better than Justin Simmons? I think he's a solid safety, but he's up there. He's 33 years old right now, so obviously that it would be like a 1-year deal, I would have to say. I can't really give him any more than a year. But I think Hyde could be a good fit. I just think Justin Simmons will be better, just because you'd rather get the younger side of 30 at least, and him and Vic Fangio have a really good relationship, and he's played for this scheme before, and I think he wants to win a championship. I think the way that the Eagles are building this defense right now, plus a draft that we still have to do, I think he'll be very enticed to come to Philadelphia. I think there's a pretty good chance in that. So we'll see. We got 377 to chat now. Make sure you like the stream. When I say like the stream, definitely hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the content every single day. Excited for the draft. Excited for more to come. So definitely like the video. And definitely subscribe as well. We're going to have another stream tomorrow. We've been streaming the last 15 days straight, plus shakedowns too. So we've been really busy, and definitely stick around, because once the draft is here, me and Philly 500 will be streaming the draft together on both channels, and going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be great. I'm really excited for it. Another year of the draft, and yeah. Definitely subscribe if you guys haven't. Check out the video I just actually did this morning. I think I put it out like 12, 1 o'clock, something like that. So definitely check that out when you guys get a chance too. Lance says, hey, Joey, Quez really signed a deal. Yeah, Quez Watkins signed a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. HVS says, can't wait for the season. I hope we average 35 points this year, Super Bowl bound. No excuses with these guys. No. With this offense, Saquon Barkley. Now you have, not only you've had Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, pretty good offensive line, but you're getting the number 2. You're going to get Jalen Hurts and his speed back. Thank God, because they ran the shit out of him early in the season and got him injured. I think now having Saquon Barkley, it changes everything. I need them to add another wide receiver 3. Whether it's going to be Paris Campbell, Devontae Parker, I think they add another weapon in this draft after the first round. I really do. Just did a video on it this morning. I think they have a lot of interest at wide receiver this year. As much as it sounds dumb, it's really not, because they really do need another wide receiver 3. They need, I don't know, Paris Campbell, I think Paris Campbell could make the roster, and be a depth if that's the case. But I think Paris Campbell could start. I think he has a chance of starting. But I think they could definitely find somebody in this draft that could produce for a few years, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to lose Devontae Parker after this year if he signs. You're going to lose Paris Campbell after this year if he signs. So drafting a guy is going to help that tremendously down the road. This way, this year and next year, you can keep whoever you draft at wide receiver 3 can stay at that position. Then if AJ Brown obviously leaves in a couple years, after 2 years, whatever, then you can make some different moves after that. So we'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it goes. Eagle Slayer says Bradbury is green peppers on a hoagie. Yeah, not much there. Not much there. But a cheesesteak. I just had a cheesesteak a few days ago. I haven't had one in a while, and it was pretty damn good. My own private deli in my town actually makes really, 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 really good. So, great. Do you ever sleep? I do, actually. Just, it depends. My sleeping schedule is a mess. Some days I go to bed, some nights I go to bed early, some nights I go to bed late. Sometimes I wake up early in the morning, sometimes I wake up by lunchtime, sometimes it just depends. Once, I'm starting to at least going to be working out a little bit more, a lot more than I have been. The last few weeks have been kind of crazy. But once things start simmering down, be doing a lot more activity. So let's see here. Chris said Bradbury's anchovies on pizza. Delaney Huggins says, if when Reddick gets traded, are you more interested in draft capital or a player? Both. But if you wanted me to choose, I really want the draft capital, to be honest. The player is a player. If you have to trade for somebody and pay them, or trade for somebody that's cheap for the year and then he's going to be a free agent, screw that. I want a guy. I want draft capital. If it's the Cardinals, I want their 35th overall pick, in the second round. I mean, that's where I would go if I had the choice, because you're not getting, obviously, a first rounder, and you might not even get a second rounder. I mean, if they're able to get a third round conditional, I'm just saying, if they had to trade Reddick, if they had like a third round conditional, then great. The third will turn to a second if Reddick plays a certain amount of snaps for that team that he goes to for the year. I guess that would make sense. And he said, let's go Eagles. I want the Eagles to draft Nate Wiggins from Clemson Tigers as their cornerback number 1. I like Nate Wiggins a lot. The problem I have, as well as probably other people are thinking of Nate Wiggins, is just his frame. He's got height, but he's got a small frame, and that's, I guess, an issue. For me, he's like a Devontae Smith of cornerbacks. A guy that I don't think Nate Wiggins is going to go as early as everyone expects. Maybe he will, but I don't see it. I could see him in the late teens of this draft. But there's there's just a size comparison a little bit, but I think he plays really hard. He's a ball hawk. He's just smooth, man. I mean, it's weird. It's like I feel like this guy could be a wide receiver. That's how his backpedal awareness. I mean, he's just good. His coverage is really tight. It's very good. Plays big. So I like Nate Wiggins a lot. I really do. You know, they go that direction. We'll see. D-Mike says, you don't want Pro Bowlers every position. Wide receiver 3 is not. No, wide receiver 3 is, you don't need to go into the first round and get a wide receiver 3. You don't need to go in the second round. Like, seriously, you really don't. Guys are going to slide down this draft. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, Mike said, if Lane Protege is available at 22, I'd take him. That's the only case I'd be okay with sitting out a year or two. No. I'm not okay with a guy sitting out for a year or two. Not okay with that. A first round pick? No. If I'm getting a first round pick, I'm getting that center. Other than that, if you're going to get that center, that's the only offensive lineman I'd honestly go after that's going to make a lot of sense in the first round, because I'm not sitting a first round pick for a year or two. I'm not doing it. I don't care. Lane Johnson's not going to retire for what? Maybe he'll probably play next season too. Not just this season, but probably next season as well. But no. Lane said, well, I'm surprised Pittsburgh signed him. He really wasn't that bad of a player when he could play. Dallas is going to miss his buddy. Well, Dallas Goddard's buddy is Avonte Maddox. Yeah, I mean, Avonte Maddox is his buddy. So I don't think Maddox is coming back either. After Tyler Hall got signed, they're getting a lot of hybrid guys in our secondary. You know, Tyler Hall signed now. So I don't know. I honestly don't know if there's even room for. I don't even know if they even want Maddox back at this point. I don't think they do. I don't think there's much interest there. Joey Napper, yeah, I am. Last week was a mess. I think just because I was tired between work, between the streams every day. I think I was taking a lot of nap. Like after I stream, I did like a membership video, and then I'd be like done. I'd like take a nap for 4 or 5 hours. Is your goal to become YouTube full-time if you aren't already? Well, it is full-time really now, but my goal, no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like to have a job. I don't like to sit home all the time. I like to at least go out and do things, and like, I mean, sure, but you know, I would to be a main job, yeah, it'd be great, but I'm not really focused on this. Is a hobby at the end of the day. I mean, that's really it. You know, it's turned out to be a little bit bigger than that, but you know, time will tell. You know, like I like to have a normal 9 to 5 sometimes. You know, instead of just sitting home all the time. All right, Mike, the AFC East. AFC East? Do you think Steelers made it relevant this offseason to compete with the Ravens? I wouldn't even say that. No. Not yet. I mean, the quarterback is a big issue right now. I mean, Justin Fields is there, but you know, you have Russell Wilson that's even, I guess, going to start. And how many chances is that guy going to have in this league at this point? Would you trade? AJ says, would you trade Reddick for AJ Terrell? If they're going to trade for AJ Terrell, then just go after a corner in the first round. Like at this point, like just go after a corner in the first round. You know what I mean? Get a homegrown talent in Philadelphia. Yeah, you could just trade for AJ Terrell and just, you know, but why would they even get rid of him? I don't know why, because they really need him. Just like everybody was like, oh, trade for Kyle Pitts. Like they need Kyle Pitts. Kirk Cousins needs weapons, and they need a starting corner too. So you know. Chris says, guys, we can't have all pros every position. O-line has 3 all pros, QB, wide receivers, all pros, tight end close to an all pro, running back, all pro, no excuses. They want says his frame is fine. Elaine says, I just think Reddick is staying. I'll be damned if I'm giving them to Arizona for any type of money. Arizona's got the picks that we want, at least in the second round. That's the only thing that that intrigues me on a trade for Reddick. As much as you know, I don't, like I said, you're probably not gonna get a first. You most likely probably won't get a second. But if I was to try to pry a pick away, it'd be number 35. Not pick swap, because Reddick is too valuable. Okay, I'm not doing a pick swap. I'm trying to take a pick away. I'm sorry, but this guy's too valuable to just do a pick swap. So I'm looking to at least do that, you know. Leon says he can cover his ass off. I don't care if he's slender. Doesn't know Wiggins. He's seen Forbes or AJ firsthand. I get it. I mean, Forbes is as small. I don't know if that is he's as small as Nate Wiggins is frame wise. He said, imagine if Wiggins falls to the second round. I doubt he does, but there's a 16% chance. All right, Mike said Wiggins light as hell, feather slim like a board, but he was a baller. We said, well, the Falcons part ways with Bates if the Eagles trade Reddick. He just signed a contract, didn't he? Though. The Falcons have interest in Reddick, but they just signed Bates like last year, so I don't think that's going to happen. Chris, I meant we have all pros that almost every position on offense basically do now. On defense, we can't. Yeah, I mean, look, we have to rely. Stop. The all pro talk has got to stop. Like the Eagles need to keep drafting well, and from what Howie behind the scenes has said on report is that they're really counting on the young guys. They're really starting to count on building around these young players, like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Nakobe Dean and some of these other guys. They really want to start building around their young core that they've drafted the last few years, and that's what they should do. Should not skip any of that. A reporter asked Howie about Hassan Reddick. Yeah, but he's not going to give, but he's not going to give the answer. You know what I mean? Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but we're not going to get our answer. Let's see. Let me see. I know there's been a lot of talk. So is it Giants owner John Maris said it made him sick seeing Saquon Barkley go to the Eagles. John Maris said he hated seeing Saquon Barkley leave. Texted him and told him it made him sick shortly after he signed. The fact he left for the Eagles made it a tougher pill to swallow. Said he was hoping Barkley would be back. Reference to 2 contracts the Giants offered him. Get out of here. Get out of here. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, bro. If you thought, let me tell you something. If you thought that he was going to be the guy that you wanted, if he was the face of your franchise and your offense and you had so much bullshit, dude. So Howard Eskin put out some news saying Eagles Howie Roseman met with the media today to go over a few things. The most burning question is latest on situation with Hassan Reddick. Howie said really didn't want to talk about the contract situation. Not surprised. Sounds like he would like to have it work itself out, being it's only March. So it sounds like it's a time thing right now. That I guess either they're just not in crazy talks right now because it's still early in the process. I mean, you still got, it's only March. It's March 25th, dude. It's not March 1st. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but it's not really that early, Howie. We're kind of, yes, I know you got the draft and then you got, some dead months coming up, before training camp starts, but still, like, I get how you feel like there's more time, but we don't know if Reddick's going to be a trade chip during the draft. And if Reddick is obviously still here after the draft, if Reddick is actually, nothing happens with Reddick after the draft, he's coming back to the Eagles. And if he holds out, then the Eagles have to trade him at that point, if he holds out. Simple as that. John said, if we don't draft the linebacker early, none of these offseason moves would mean anything and will continue being a joke. No. I think that's completely wrong because I think they made a lot of moves. They've hit on linebacker 3 times already. I think they'll draft another linebacker this year. I think they've done a lot. I think we've done a lot more than we've asked them to do, to be honest with you. With the amount of money they had and the draft compensation they still have, I don't think it's going to be a joke at all. I think people need to stop thinking about the past so much and 2 new coordinators. Like I get it, but it's a new era this year. You know what I mean? A lot of changes are made. So to be that negative about it, I get it, but I think you just got to give it a chance. That's any chance we get Simmons, or I do feel a big trade coming, and how go with the first pick of the NFL draft. Yeah, I mean, Simmons seems like a possibility, and first pick of the draft will depend on really the next few weeks is going to depend on if Bradbury gets moved, or if I feel like any players being moved or anything like that. I mean, I could see them go trenches, offensive line, defensive line, cornerback. It could be a safety. They could get a running back on the third day, at least for the first round. I mean that's go either or, mostly defense. So. So I find it funny how people think Wiggins is too small, 6'2" frame, and weighs at 185, but people thought the same about Sauce Gardner at 6'3", 200 frame. Yeah, I mean that's a 20 something pound difference. I mean is a it's a little bit of a big deal, but Wiggins can always put on weight as long as he can maintain his speed. But I'm not saying I'm just saying what people are complaining about him because of his size. I think his coverage skills are fantastic, but everybody's gonna nitpick at it, so I get it. Some Black Ninja says, Joey, do you think Howie is waiting till the draft to see how the first half falls and make Hassan trade if he sees something you want? Yeah, I mean, most likely it's not going to be during the draft. Most likely, if Reddick is going to get moved, it's going to happen before the draft even starts. There's going to be a plan in motion. When the AJ Brown thing happened, the morning of the draft, on draft day, before the draft even started, the AJ Brown deal was already done, that it was going to happen. So most likely, I don't think it's going to happen during the draft. I think it's going to happen, obviously, it's going to happen pre-draft on that day. A deal will be made if that's what they want to do, how to move him. This way, they'll be set and ready to go. So Howie Roseman talked about why they went after Saquon Barkley. He said, I'd actually say our history is a little different than maybe is being portrayed, or at least is being told to me it's being portrayed. I was in the front office when we paid Brian Westbrook. In 2012, LaShawn McCoy, we got So Sean McCoy got a $9 million a year contract when I was a GM. I think for us, it's hard to find special players at any position. We think Saquon's a special player, a special person, and when you're trying to find those guys, they're hard to find, especially on the open market. And then you put in the dynamic about have we gone so far? Has the pendulum swung so far at this position? The guy touched the ball 300 times a year. Hopefully, there are not a lot of other players, skill position players, that are touching that ball that many times and have that effect. So that's what Howie has said on. That's what Howie did say on the Saquon Barkley signing. So. We know, guys. We know, when Saquon got drafted, we know that it was going to be, we knew that when Saquon went to the Giants in the top 10, okay, that it wasn't going to, we felt like it wasn't going to work out. It was going to be a wasted pick for them because these top 10, it's just one of those things where usually these teams in the top 10 like don't have good rosters, especially if you don't have a good offensive line. I mean, usually these offenses aren't doing shit because you don't have an offensive line and there's not good protection. And when a running back goes to a team like that early and you don't pounce on if you don't pounce on the opportunity to build your line and even have a quarterback at that point, that's what happens. So Howie Roseman did speak today, but I know we're not getting, he's not going to give us any news. You know what I mean? Like, as much as everyone's excited about it, I don't think anyone's going to give us too much news over it, We got a super chat from Domadon. What's going on, man? He says, to be honest, I was thinking cornerback, but I think we go defensive end Chop. Yeah, they could. Chop could be there in the middle teens to late teens. I think he could be there at 22. Maybe they have to move up a couple of spots, but we'll see. They're bringing Laiatu Latu from UCLA on a pre-draft visit, so that's a good sign. They want one of the best edge rushers in the draft. So, we'll see how it goes.
Rollout, Hurts fires in zone, and it is caught for a touchdown.
Appreciate the super, by the way, man. What's going on, Vandell? Everything's good, man. Roseport Times, I feel like I'm the only one only few who actually want to see Reddick traded. I don't think any vet on this defense is worth a big contract. What good is being the best player on the 31st ranked defense? Yeah, but you're talking about last year, though, dude. I mean, you're talking about last year with two different coordinators. You're talking about last year with two different coordinators on defense. Really not even two coordinators. Really, it's Nick's scheme, what he wants. I mean, not much changes were made to this defense. But that's what I'm saying. You can't come off of it. I mean, you can't go off of everything from last year. Because, I mean, if we still had Sean Desai here, then yeah, we'd be in trouble. we'd be in trouble, no doubt. And there would be reason to trade guys. But with Vic Fangio, as much as I don't like the scheme, I'm not a big fan of it. Like I was on NFL Plus last night, and I was actually watching some of our games from 2017, and I was like, man, like aggressive defense, like I missed it so much. It's a little different. I don't like it, but Fangio knows how to get pressure, and that's third in pressures for the year. Against the pass, he wasn't fantastic, but you got to complement this defense with a good offense. At the end of the day, defense is going to win you games all the time. This offense needs to do a lot more for what it has. There's no excuse for this offense to score less than 35 points a game. There's really not. I mean, you got Saquon Barkley in the mix now, and I don't know what this team averaged last year in points, but it wasn't great. So you didn't blow a team out of the water last year. Yeah, so all right, so I think Ryan sent me some news. So this is what I was afraid that was going to happen, and this is because of the trade value for Reddick, because no one's going to give Reddick. We're not getting a first, second round pick for him. So Rams Brothers just tweeted out. This is from Elliott Shore Parks. Eagles insider Elliott Shore Parks reported that a fourth round pick could get a deal done for Hassan Reddick. Fourth round pick, dude. Jesus, man. But I don't know if that's true or whatnot. It wouldn't shock me if it is a fourth. it wouldn't. Whether I'm not big on Elliott Shore Parks and what he puts out there, because he says the most dumbest shit. But yeah, it's a 4th round pick. It's not good. It's not good enough. That's really low. Philly Fly 1906, thank you for the super chat, man. Says, "What, Joey? What's good, bro? What's going on, man? Hope you're having a good day today. Hope everyone's at, either at work, you're sitting home, you're doing your thing. But this is not good. This is not good." Oh shit. Sorry. That's my fault. See, my headset's not even on. My headset's on mute right now. So I think you guys hear anything? Sorry. I must have had a video playing. My headset's on mute right now, so I didn't know anything was playing in the background. Sorry. I clicked on something. And I guess it started it started playing. Let me know if you guys could hear me, by the way. Let me know if you guys could still hear me. No background, everything's fine. Sorry about that. Aiden says, what I wouldn't do a third? Hell no, just keep him on the current deal. Yeah, keeping him on the current deal is going to be a $21 million cap hit, so they need to do something. They need to restructure him, give him more guaranteed money. They need to do something with the contract. That's what something's got to get done. Something's got to get done. Because you're absolutely right. Vince, you're absolutely right about that offensive offense, but didn't decide play a bend don't break defense after going 10-1. Oh yeah, I mean but dude, like how many games did we get real lucky in? I mean, let's be real here. Like we got really lucky in a lot of games. I'm sorry, but we did. A lot of teams look, and I know like teams will make mistakes during games. Other teams will score because of those mistakes, but we really we had some really good comebacks this year, and that's great for the team, no doubt. That's great for a quarterback. Jalen Hurts put the team on his back a million times, and this defense has put pressure on. Hassan Reddick was one of those players in the 4th quarter. He was a nice closer for us. His defense became a great closer for us. But it's one of those things where, we could have lost a lot of those games this year. A lot of those games. A 4th round pick for Hassan Reddick. Not good. Not really that great. See, Ryan said, if I was Howie, we aren't getting what we want in a trade. Let's work something out. It seems like he's saying it's too early in the process right now or something. Like, it's just, he's not going to tell us if he's getting traded or not. But I don't know. For me, I don't know. It's not, I can't tell what's going to happen. Can't tell what's going to happen. HBS has agreed, keep Reddick an extension, get another defensive end to put more pressure on QBs. That will help our defense. I don't know if they draft another edge. Like, I don't think they need to draft an edge if they keep Reddick. I feel like if Reddick's gone, they really need to draft an edge. I feel like that's what they have to do. King Varnes to trade Hassan Reddick in a second for Pax Surtain Jr. No, it's not. If there's anything that's going to happen, that's definitely not going to happen. They let the Niners score 6 straight touchdowns. Season was over right then. And he says, how is it early draft is coming? We need to know what we need to fill. Yeah, I mean, he said it's what did he say? He said like the process was too early. I forgot what the hell he said, but I was like, dude, like, no, like, no, bro. Yeah, he said, sorry, I'm trying to look for it. What, I just lose it? Yeah, he says it's only March. Like, it's only March. I'm like, okay, well. Sounds like he would like to have it worked itself out, being it's only March. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe that's a good sign. I don't know. I could be wrong. People say, so moral of the story of removing ass backwards. So Eagles fans acting like Cowboy fans, you want to hold on to a player forever until they suck, they get nothing for it. Imagine if we didn't win a Super Bowl, you just wasted a draft pick. I'm only holding on to a player if I'm only holding on to a player if he's going to make a big difference to a Super Bowl this year. That's the only way I'm holding on to a player. This isn't emotionally. This is for a championship. In my opinion, if they lose Reddick, they're weak on one side of the line. It's just, that's it. If you have Reddick and you have Bryce Huff and you have all the depth behind it, I think you're fine. I think you're in really good shape. But if they lose Reddick, I think we're going to find out a lot sooner how much it's going to make a difference. But so if we're moving to a 3-4, it will take a couple of years to get the personnel, so run it effectively. Linebackers are crucial for 3-4, so how he needs to change his well, he's already changed. I mean, he's somewhat changed the philosophy already. Like, he needs to do more to change even more, but he's giving a running back 12 million a year, which he never does. Okay, especially Saquon Barkley, who 10 million people probably here didn't think it was going to happen. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's a 3-4, but it's multiple fronts. It's not just a 3-4. They're going to be doing a lot of other things too. He likes to use his linebackers in a lot of different ways. They have to be athletically sound. Like, yes, I think they needed more linebackers, no doubt. I think Devin White is an underrated pick. I think Devin White's going to resurge his career, and I promise you that I think it's going to happen. He picked up 3 linebackers in free agency. He didn't pick up an all-pro, but he picked up 3 guys that fit the mold of what they're trying to do. I think there's more room for that, and I don't think it's going to take Vic Fangio too long to get these guys on track. That's why you have a whole entire offseason. I think players are going to adapt a little bit quicker than everyone realizes. It's going to take a year for everyone to get used to the scheme. No, the Eagles have been running this scheme, but they haven't had the right players and the right coach behind it, unfortunately. So, yeah, Fitness Roofer 33 says Quez went to the Steelers. Yeah, Quez is signed with the Steelers on a 1-year deal. Fellas says, if any of that info is true and will take a 4th for Reddick, then he wants out. But it's Elliott Shore Parks, though. That's the only That's the only person I've heard that from. So it's not saying much. So I can't really believe it 100%. We're talking about Elliott Short-Parks. We're talking about one of the worst beat writers in Philadelphia. So at least a guy, I never report news from Elliott Shore. Never. Maybe like once in a blue moon I will. So I'm not, if Elliott Short-Parks is the only one that's spoke on 4th round pick for Reddick, I'm not. If I hear from multiple sources, sure, but if it's just him, yeah, I can't believe it that much. But I actually say we are in win now mode. Our 1st round pick needs to play significant snaps immediately this season. Yeah, 100%. Until he reaches Purcell in the 3rd. He might go in the 2nd. We'll see. I like Ricky Purcell a lot. He is an ankle breaker, and he is a route running machine. A lot of speed. David Newsom. So any players from Atlanta or AZ, Bayer, he would trade straight across for, since those are the teams that have emerged as of now. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a player trade, though. I don't know if it's going to be a player pick for player trade. So I don't know if it's going to turn into that. Baker, I don't know. Is he still on? He's got another year left? I mean, they could try prying somebody off the roster if they want. Atlanta, I really don't. Atlanta right now, they need as many pieces on their defense as possible. They're just trying to add. I don't think they're trying to get rid of anybody defensively. So we'll see, but. I'm not paying somebody that's going to be washed $25 million in 2 years and suck. Well, Reddick isn't washed, and $25 million is way too much. So I agree on half of that. So no pass rusher is better than Reddick in this draft. That's. I'm not saying in the future they can't be a better pass rusher than Reddick or as good as Reddick, but I'm talking about right now for this year. Nobody in this draft, nobody you trade for, nobody else is going to put the numbers that Reddick puts up, and that's the truth. That's what everyone has to realize. It's not about this is about a Super Bowl. This is about, you know what I mean? This is what it's about. It's not about, keeping a guy here for a few years at an old age for no reason and the Eagles are rebuilding. No, this is, you're trying to compete for a Super Bowl, okay? You need as much depth on this D-line as possible. You need as much starters on this, a bigger rotation is better for us. A rotation with productivity, hitting home with your defensive line is going to be really important, so... BMX says it has to be the age as the valuing Reddick for a 4th, and if he's asking for $25 million, he's overvaluing himself, but how he needs to meet him at 22 and half, 23. Yeah, I mean, he's not paying 25 plus. It's definitely not going to happen. And yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think Howie Roseman's going to get the draft compensation he wants for Reddick, and he's going to keep Reddick here. Just restructure his contract for this year only and just give him more guaranteed money up front. That's all they got to do. You're going to save $11 million, $11+ million in the process, whether it's a restructure, whether it's an extension, whether it's a trade. You're getting a big chunk of money back regardless. So it's a win-win for Hassan and for the Eagles. Hassan will get a fair share of what he should get, okay? And the Eagles will get a substantial, really good edge guy to compete for a Super Bowl this year, on top of whatever else we have on this defensive line going forward. And, that's where we're at. Torval said, need to draft a couple linebackers that have a legit upside. Not just fringe NFL special teams guys. No, I get it. I think Baun is going to be a special teams guy. And I honestly think Devin White's going to be a starter in Philadelphia. I do. I have a good feeling about Devin White. I have a really good feeling about Devin White. Or is it's going to be a cadastrophe in Dallas? a cadastrophe? Tommy says it takes 3 or 4 years to find out if a player is good. Yeah, it depending on like where you're drafted. Like a first round pick, you always want to give them like 2 years. You know what I mean? A first round pick, you should always give them like by not 2 years, but at least by year 2, the mid of year 2, you should find out what a player is going to look like. Yeah, well, we all know this. So when I said it, I knew I was going to get the feedback I was going to get. So. Tovo says Eagles and Reddick should come to a mutual understanding. He isn't going to get $25 million. Offer a 1-year deal with about $17 million base. That would incentives that get him about 21 if he meets them. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know if 17 is going to be the base. It might be a little bit more than that. Because if they're already giving Bryce Huff 17 a year, so Terrence says Jalen Hurts going to his 7th different offense this year since college. How do you think Hurts will do in Kellen's scheme? Yeah, he's had a lot of offensive coordinators, but I think with Kellen, I think he's going to push Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts is going to be in a better position with his wide receivers, his tight ends. You're going to have pre-snap motion. You're not going to be, you're not going to make things hard for your QB. You're not going to, the substitutions at running back and second, third, and short, not going to be throwing a 70-yard bomb downfield. Like Kellen Moore likes to use middle of the field crossers, hot routes. I mean, you name it. He likes moving his receivers around. Like it's going to be a more comfortable offense for Jalen Hurts, and I think it's going to be fantastic. I think this is going to be his best year. I'm hoping, because. The creativity is a huge increase with Kellen Moore. Highly well respected around the league. This is the best offense he's ever going to be around, in my opinion. Even better when he was in Dallas for 4 years. The only weapons on top of injuries that they had offensively and defensively for the Chargers last year. I mean, Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler were really the only 2 weapons they really had. Quentin Johnson, like their first round pick, they have a first round pick bust at receiver. The quarterback was hurt all year. I mean, there's just so much more with this team. There's just so much more. So. The Eagles ran 3-4-4-3, mostly ran 4-3. It should be hard to switch to a 3-4s. Since we already have the personnel for it. Hassan for a 5th rounder. Hassan and a 5th for a 2nd round pick. I don't think they're going to get that. Adding a 5th rounder isn't going to give you a 2nd to the deal. I hardly doubt it. I mean, imagine if they trade him for a 4th round pick. I'd be sick to my stomach. Well, that's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be fair to yourself, though. If people are saying that Reddick is a bad player or he sucks or he's washed, all these things, but you still want to trade him for high compensation, then why are you if he's not that great in your eyes, why do you want to trade him for high compensation if he's not a great player? It's the same people that don't like Reddick want to trade him for a high pick when they don't think he's a good player. So I don't get people sometimes when they talk about the situation. I don't see anything going on. The Eagles don't have linebacker quality to run a 3-4 yet. Even with White has some questions. Eagles need to carry more linebackers on the roster and have linebackers that have athleticism to cover. Yeah, like you gotta give it time. Dude, we have a whole draft. Like, they can't do everything in one. They can't do everything. Like, you have literally less than a week to get as many as good players as you can. Anything you get after like 3-4 days, At least, really, after 2 days of free agency, you really can't. I would say that at least 3 days, you can't get any high value targets. Like it's there's only so much you could do, and the 3 most valuable days of free agency are, like I said, the first 3 days. That's it. You know what I mean? Like anything you have slim pickings on in free agency is not going to be, not going to be the most fantastic player out there. But you don't need to have all pros at every position because you need more scheme fit type guys. You know what I mean? Scheme fit, athleticism, guys that can, be in this 3-4 and cover is going to be one of the biggest differences. I get it. But I get it. Sorry, I was reading something. That's why I was laughing for. Someone says he's not going to be the reason why we win a Super Bowl. If we win a Super Bowl, it's because of the weak ass back seven that prove a lot. Well, no. I'm not saying Reddick is without Reddick, the Eagles can't do it. But this is a team game. Like Reddick is going to make us win the Super Bowl, and one man can't do it. It involves everybody. But the back seven is going to be a lot better, and it has already changed. It's changed dramatically already, and it's going to change even more during this draft. So I think people need to give it a chance. I think this defensive line, especially with Reddick here, and I don't know what Howie said during this little interview he had at the GM, the coaching GM meetings, whatever it's been going on. I think at this point, I don't think Howie doesn't seem too worried about it at all. Like he feels like it's still early to get something done. So maybe it's just been a standstill for a while. Maybe they really haven't renegotiated in a while. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe just nothing has happened yet. So, but the main thing is they have to hit home with this defensive line this year. They have to hit home this year. These linebackers have to play sound. They have to be athletically there to play in this scheme. I think they're going to have those guys this year. I think they're going to have even more guys in this draft. I think they're going to draft another linebacker. So I think we're going to be fine. We got to look at more scheme fits now than just we need to get the best player out there and trade for the best linebacker, trade for the best corner. It comes down to scheme now. So we'll see. Philly Fly 1916 the super chat. Thank you so much. The main thing is we have to stay healthy. Yeah, that's another thing too. We screwed ourselves last season because you lost Avonte Maddox, you lost Zach McPherson, you lost 2 guys at nickel, you rotate guys at nickel, you put players out of position, and you failed them, and it just didn't work out. That's one of the other main reasons too. So that I couldn't stand. You know what I mean? So I think Chauncey not being here hurt this team tremendously last year. I think Chauncey not being here screwed everything up. Safety, we didn't sign any impactful free agents last year. We were weak at safety, we were weak at linebacker, and the scheme was and the coaching behind it just made it worse. Other than Nakobe Dean gets hurt, and the Eagles went into last season saying, okay, we have Nakobe Dean, we're fine, we're good. Like, they didn't care who they signed outside Nakobe Dean. They signed a bunch of one-year deals, and then Nakobe Dean got hurt, and then they kind of screwed themselves. Avonte Maddox and Zach McPherson out for this. Zach McPherson got the ACL. Maddox ended up getting hurt twice. Or once. I thought he got hurt 2 times this year, or one. It might have been once. I'm not sure. I always forget because there's always an issue with him. And then you had nobody at nickel. So now you're bringing Tyler Hall. Now you're bringing Isaiah Rodgers that potentially could cross train to the inside because he's real twitchy. And I think potentially, they're, if Bradbury's not being let go of right now, I think Isaiah Rodgers is going to be put to the test to start an outside cornerback this year. Could be. Might have a brand new player in that nickel spot that we're not even thinking of right now. You know what I mean? So I think that's got to be put into question. I think Isaiah Rodgers is going to be a guy he could take Bradbury's spot if Bradbury isn't moved, or maybe they will move him later. I don't know. So I think Isaiah Rodgers is a really good corner. Got suspended. Eagles picked him up. The only downside to Isaiah Rodgers is he really hasn't played in a year. So that's really it. But I know this whole entire year he's been working his tail off, you know, make sure he's still in football shape and doing his thing. Come on, James. James Schoenkoff. What's going on, man? It says super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We did grab linebacker Terrell Lewis from the Rams. Yeah, they grabbed two, and we gotta think too, like they ended up getting Terrell Lewis. They got a lot of flashy guys that haven't been in consistent schemes. Like they've had some flash, but they just haven't been put in the right system. Aquara is another linebacker that they have that, you know, could be a potential, maybe not a project, could be a guy that can be really good scheme fit here, athletic, you know, so, you know, they, after the season ended, they grabbed a couple guys that showed a lot of flash. Terrell Lewis, Aquara. So they're, you know, on top of 3 free agents they just signed too. So they're adding a lot of linebackers. They're adding a lot of bodies right now. Okay. Obviously the offseason program needs to change. Hold on. Somebody's saying there's something in the background. I don't think there's anything in the background playing. I think somebody's fucking with me, dude. No, that's a different Aquara. It's a different dude. I think that's a different dude. That's a different guy. I thought the same thing. I think that's somebody different though, with a different name. Yeah, it's just a dude being fucking annoying. Bills fans said this dude Cilio said how he built a practice squad. I don't know, dude. I guess that's what you get paid for, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what you keep paid. I guess that's what you keep pays them for, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's how it goes. Okay. They are brothers. Lions, Aquara retired. Okay. I don't think it's the guy on the Eagles right now, no. Steelers fans hyped about Quez. Yeah. Well, the guy's got to stay healthy, number one. So, I don't know what type of drugs people be doing. Believe Barkley going to be ass. The people that are, you're talking like just Eagle fans or like other, I mean, if it's people outside the Eagle fan base, then they're just jealous. That's all. They are brothers. Okay. Cause that happened last week. Yeah. When I heard that news, I was like, wait a second, what? And I was like, oh wait, this isn't the guy. Young players are proven players all we want and need, but young and proven players are better than just a young player and just a proven player, while young and proven. I told you I could see Quez going crazy. Yeah, he's gonna pull a Deshaun Jackson on us when he left to go to Washington. He's gonna score like 3 touchdowns. You know, he's gonna score like 2 touchdowns on us in a game, get all these yards on us. We paid that price for getting rid of him. I think the good thing is we got Deshaun Jackson back, you know, for a couple years. And he's another guy that didn't stay healthy, you know, unfortunately. You know. Chris says 4th round pick for Haas would be impossible to wrap my head around it if it happens. I know it's possible. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Just keep him at this point. Like, if that's the case, just keep. The Eagles need to run the ball and use RPO to get back in the bowl. It's true. It's true, man. Keep it around. Keep it around. So we have Julian Cora. Romeo retired. Both were the Lions at one point. Romeo was more successful, but our Julian has potential. Yeah, he's shown a lot of flash. But just hasn't been in a consistent scheme, and hasn't really had too much opportunity. Ayuk and 49er situation are getting interesting. Well, I heard the news yesterday. I know he put out some stupid picture of like looking at the ceiling or the ground. He put some picture on IG or something with some like emojis going across the screen. He's acting like, I don't know, Brandon Ayuk is garbage. I mean, he's not garbage, but he's a 49er. I can care less. But it seems like he might be resigning. I mean, the 49ers have already came out and said that they're going to work on. They want Ayuk in the building for more than a year. They want him back. So I'm surprised Devin Allen was never allowed to some go route. No, Devin Allen, unfortunately, dude, his Olympic bullshit that he does, his track star stuff that he does. Unfortunately, he had an injury like from one of those events before he went to training camp, and that kind of messed him up. And, as a kick returner, like I really liked him a lot because I wanted more opportunity for punt return and kick return with him. Unfortunately, it is what it is. He had a nice catch for a touchdown. I think this past preseason, could be wrong. Last year's preseason, but I don't even know if he's back. Is he back for off season? Is he on a future? Is he on like a future, like, is he on like a training camp deal right now? That's it. We hired Kellen Moore and Fangio with perfect timing, allowing them to have all spring, summer to come up with game plans and plays to cook the league. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty. People are saying, well, they have to get used to the scheme, and no. Players can adapt. Trust me. Coaches can adapt to where they are going somewhere else, and players can do the same thing. So, yeah, I forgot what it was. I don't know if Devin Allen had the kick return or the touchdown last year. I forgot. Totally forgot. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the day. We'll have a video out tomorrow. We're gonna have a membership video out today. I didn't put it out this morning. I'll have it out today. But I want to definitely go over some other stuff for tomorrow, as well as some of the Quez Watkins and what's going on. And so it's gonna be very, very interesting. Very interesting going forward. But I hope everybody enjoyed their day today. Over 300 in the chat. Make sure you like the stream. Definitely subscribe to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. I'm going to get going. These streams are going to be a little bit shorter as we move on, depending if things do break. We'll have another stream at, later in the afternoon, or, if anything happens anytime during the day, I'll stream again. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the stream, and definitely check out the memberships in the pinned comment up above for extra content, support from the channel, some of the membership videos there. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to keep this thing going tomorrow. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably late morning, early afternoon, somewhat, and we'll get this thing going again. So, all right, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.